This is the only man I know who brings out an album called Plugged when everyone else is bringing out an unplugged album. He's the only man I know whose introductions often last longer than the songs themselves, and yet, and this is the important bit, they are never dull or boring. This man is, of course, our guest for this evening, Mr. Vin Garbutt.
Good evening. Those regulars know I've been coming here for years, and this is a short tour this tonight. Is anybody? I usually do quite a big tour in the southwest this time of the year every year. People sort of associate me with bad weather and the flu. And is anybody sort of from the Nailsea contingent turned up tonight? Oh, good. Because I usually do Nailsea on the same tour, so. Bradford on Avon, any Bradford? Oh. Now this is a crunch. Has anybody from Bristol turned up? Anyway, I don't mind saying I played at the Hammersmith Irish Centre in London, and there was about 150 people in, and I asked the audience if there was any Irish people in the audience, and there was one hand went up. That's the way it goes, yeah. Anyway, a song called Where the Hell Are We Going to Live, because tonight I'm plugging this album that was stolen off me by a record company, and I've re-released it. I'll tell you all about it in a bit. But the song's called Where the Hell Are We Going to Live, written by a fella called Paul Wright, who I haven't seen since the day he gave me the words around about 1973 in the William IV pub in Walthamstow in London. And he was living in a block of high-rise flats. Stop me if you've heard this. He was living in a block of high-rise flats. And he loved it up there, because he was only in for 6 months, he could say. He had a great view of London. It was about 30 stories high or something. But he was a sensitive bloke, and he noticed the plight of some of the families that were stuck up there forever and who hated it and were suffering all sorts of social problems, and some of them were getting extremely depressed, and some of them were getting so depressed they were jumping out of the windows, and it prompted Paul to actually join the Samaritans, and he ended up offering his own window. So anybody in that situation, you know. And of course, with him living on the ground floor, there was a couple of elastoplasts, cup of tea, problem solved. Where the hell are we going to live? Where the hell are we going to live? The beauty might not go way up in the sky, up in the world in a block a mile high. Tell you me friends, I must rather die. Where the hell are we going to live? Where the hell are we going to live? Where the hell are we going to live? The beauty might not go way up in the sky, up in the world in a block a mile high. Tell you me friends, I must rather die. Where the hell are we going to live? Now me and Dad are married, we're trying to settle down. All we need are for Mindy and Clifford to buy a two up and two down. Where the hell are we going to live? Where the hell are we going to live? That means you might have to wake up in the sky, up in the world in a block a mile high. Tell you your friends I much rather die. Where the hell are we going to live? Well, we're on the council housing list, number 6005. Due for a house in 2001, that's assuming we're both still alive. Where the hell are we going to live? Where the hell are we going to live? There will you more at the way up in the sky, up in the world and a block a mile high. Tell you the friends I much rather die. Where the hell are we going to live? Well, it's all a bleeding fiddle. Oh, give me the biggest rude. I know we can save up a mortgage right now if the two of us stop eating food. Where the hell are we going to live? Where the hell are we going to live? That will you burn up away up in the sky, up in the world in a block a mile high. Tell you me friends I much rather die. Where the hell are we going to live? Where the hell do our kids play? Where the hell do our kids play? No ball games allowed, kick up the live, don't block the past. You can shove your plans right up your where the hell are we going to live? Where the hell are we going to live? Where the hell are we going to live? They'll build you a rattle way up in the sky, up in the world in a block a mile high. Tell you me friends, I'd much rather die. Where the hell are we going to live? They're building battery farms for people where houses once stood before, where there used to be just one family living outside a Coop 24. There's no shops, playgrounds, no boozers, and the architect's great plan. You may want to live like a chicken, my friend, but I want to live like a man. Where the hell are we going to live? Where the hell are we going to live? They'll build you a rattle way up in the sky, up in the world at a block a mile high. Tell you me friends, I must rather die. Where the hell are we going to live? Where the hell are we going to live? Where the hell are we going to live? They'll build you a rattle way up in the sky, up in the world at a block a mile high. Tell you me friends, I must rather die. Where the hell are we going to live? Very much. That was Where the Hell Are We Going to Live? Christmas hit off my re-release album that first came out as When the Tide Turns. I haven't been able to get this album for 6 years, you see, because they never give me any royalties, and then 6 years ago they stopped giving me CDs to sell as well, see, so I went to see a solicitor, right, true story this, went to see a solicitor, and because this firm has been blacklisted, I'm not going to mention the firm's name because it may be libelous, but is there anybody in the audience who would do it for me? Alright, well anyway, that was it, yeah, that's it. And anyway, this solicitor said, because I'm blacklisted by the MU and what have you, that I'd win the case, but he said I'd need to hire a barrister, right? And that cost thousands of pounds. So I thought I'd approach it from a different angle, and I decided to re-release the album myself, and now they have to take me to court. Yeah? Yeah, I'm not just. So I've re-released the album as When the Tide Turns Again. And it's on Rescue Records. It's available at the back tonight. The ones in the shops are not mine, right? Don't go for any of the ones in the shops like that. And that last song's on it. And this one isn't on any. This one might be on a new one. I'm doing a new one. And I've recorded it, but I think I've got too much. Well, anyway. I wrote this years ago. I only ever sing it about this time of the year. December, January, the only times I sing it. But a friend of mine, he died on New Year's Eve, 1979. He never saw the 80s. He was with us in the pub. We had a few drinks. He went home to his house, as we all did. And there was a bit of a party at his house, and they had friends staying. The next door neighbours were away for New Year, and I gave him the keys and said, if your house is too full, use ours. So when he'd had enough, he went next door, fell asleep on the settee, and the gas fire was on, and there was a subfall, and carbon monoxide killed him. He never woke up, he never saw the 80s. And I wrote this little song called John, You Have Gone. John, you have gone from the land of the living. You didn't stay long beside of life's door. Your friends say we'll miss you. Your loved ones will kiss you no more. The old year was yawning, the new one just dawning. New friendships were spawning beneath the old moon. But you were subdued, John, like someone who knew John, and we were to lose one, so finance it soon. John, you have gone from the land of the living. You didn't stay long to the guest, John, life's greatest question for you would be answered as chance had decreed. But you stood the test, John, as one of the best on this earth. You've impressed, John. God bless and Godspeed. John, you've gone from the land of the living. You didn't stay long this side of life's door. Your friends say will miss you. Your loved ones will kiss you no more. Your parents were swaying with grief, John, and praying, but knowing that you, John, would always be there. We all looked on sighing where you, John, were lying. Your love refrained crying, defying despair. John, you've gone from the land of the living. You didn't stay long this side of life's door. Your friends say will miss you. Your loved ones will kiss you no more. Oh, fate can be cruel when it takes back a loved one. This borrowed existence is bound to decay. Like leaves in the autumn, our bodies must fall, but the tree will live on. We'll meet John one day. John, you've gone from the land of the living. You didn't stay long this side of life's door. Your friends here will miss you. Your loved ones will kiss you no more. Very much. That was John, you've gone here, all the very best. I'm open to requests, by the way, as I usually am. There's only a limited number I can remember because of my age. But if you don't have any requests, just chuck them in, right?
Bypass syndrome.
Apart from that one. No, I can't. It's too long, that one, and I've only got 2 songs left. No, but at that length anyway. Yeah. I did it last. I can do that. Who asked for that one?
Him.
I can do that right here. I'll do the Potash song. Oh, this is a Christmas hit. Off the Bypass Syndrome album, as it happens. So if anybody else would like to, if they're intrigued by what's this bypass song, you know, if there's any medical people in the audience. The Bypass Syndrome album is the one. Potash song, fella called Graham Walker, up on Teesside. Hey, just by coincidence, are there any Middlesbrough football supporters in the audience? Can't understand that. Well, anyway, any Liverpool supporters in the audience? Oh. Anyway, on Boxing Day, I played at Middlesbrough's Riverside Stadium. One song at half-time. Middlesbrough got hammered by Liverpool. First match they lost in 10 months. And football supporters are pretty superstitious, you know. Of course, it was my fault. One song at half-time on the pitch, and I got the blame, right? Apart from one bloke who was so disheartened at the Borough's performance In my local pub, he walked in, he spotted me, he said, I heard you at the Riverside on Saturday, and I was expecting him to give me a, you know. I said, what do you think? He said, you were the only professional on the pitch. Hey, just by coincidence, I only had this one song singing, and timing was, you had to be perfect, because I was in the old, the tunnel there with Gaza, and Michael Owen, and Paul Ince, and all them lads, you know, and, what I got, so I'm sick of doing them. Did this one song, and there was about 10 seconds after I finished, and then the players came back on the pitch, and the applause was fantastic, and the players thought it was for them. The potash song, the deepest mine in Europe is the Bowlby Potash Mine, just a bit north of Whitby, near the fishing village of Steers. Steers, as it's pronounced locally. In fact, in America, they named the cows after that place. In fact, the Isle of Wight was going to call one of their towns Steers as well. Hang on, I'm nearly there, look. This is about the conditions down the mine. They've never been very good. It's a hot place, goes down under the ground and then out under the North Sea. When you're digging out the ash, you're raking in the cash. You might think you're doing very well, and you're underneath the sea where no man ought to be. I've got the string, I don't know whether you noticed. So look, it's a B string. And you go to, is anybody rabbiting in the morning? No? Anybody rabbiting? It's pretty good. G strings are actually better. In fact, I caught a hair on a G string just last week. Yeah, I'm gonna pull this. I'm just gonna pull the plug out, look, because you're gonna get an unaccompanied song, you know now. Have I got a volunteer in the audience who will change the string for me? In fact, we've got two volunteers. One who'll change the string, and another one who's got some strings. I need a volunteer to change the string. I've got a packet of strings in my pocket. Oh no, any good? Ah, thank you very much. There you are. B string. You'll need a coin to get that peg out of there. You can go in the ladies with my permission. Have you got a coin to get that peg out?
I got it.
Have you? Oh, well done. Oh, there's the string.
That helps.
Right then. What was I going to sing? Oh, right. Oh, well, in that case, oh, well. Yeah, I'll do, you know, some of you have heard this, but it fits in great when I snap a string. It's called It Couldn't Be Done. It's a song about stoicism and it's a First World War poem I've set to music. And these people have come up to me after I've sung this song and told me that they've experienced stoicism for the first time in their lives. I'll recite the first verse. It's about things that can be done if you give the pessimists a wide berth. I'll recite the first verse. I tried to record this for this new album I'm doing, but it was in the studio and I couldn't do it without an audience. It was horrible. I was listening to it, the tapes, and I thought, oh, I can't have that on it. You know what I mean? Now, what is it? Why? What? Anyway, I'll tell you. Somebody said that it couldn't be done. He with a chuckle replied, to me, to you, to me. No, I'm digressing now. Somebody said that it couldn't be done. He with a chuckle replied, maybe it couldn't, but he'd be the one who wouldn't say so till he tried. So he lifted his chin with a slip of a grin on his face. If he worried, he hid it. And he started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. Anybody feeling stoic? Anybody over there stoic? No. Well, anyway, I've written this melody for it, see, and if I'd written a waltz, it would have been more memorable. People would have been singing it on the way home. But I wrote a jig. I can't help this sort of thing. I do this sort of thing. So It's not easy to sing. It's called It Couldn't Be Done, but occasionally it comes out as Couldn't Be Done. Right. Right. Hey, can you hear me all right at the back? Is it clear enough for you? All right. All right. Good. Then somebody said it. Somebody said that it couldn't be done, even the chuckle replied that maybe it couldn't, but he'd be the one who wouldn't say so till he tried. He lifted his chin with his lip of a grin on his face, and he worried he had it. He started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. Well, somebody said, I'll never do that, and nobody ever has done it. He took off his coat and he took off his hat, and the first me knew he'd begun it. He lifted his chin with his lip of a grin without me doubting or quit it. He started to sing as he tackled the thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. There's thousands to tell you it cannot be done, there's thousands to prophesy failure, there's thousands to point out to you one by one the dangers that wait to assail ya. But just buckle in with his lip of a grin, just take off your coat and go to it. Just add to sing as you tackle that thing that cannot be done, and you'll do it. When said it could be done, it replied, maybe she could be the one who would say so to be tried. He left in the general and ringed on it. Did it. What's that? Sing as he the thing that could be done till he did it. Thank you very much. Are we winning over there? Oh, brilliant. Hey, thank you very much. Can we have a big hand for my rescuer?
Wrong string, Vin, sorry.
Oh, wrong string. Oh, no, I tell you. I've had that done before here. In fact, I know I used to play with the thickest string in the middle. I'll show it before I plug in, then you won't get bored of the sound. Give us a shout if it looks as though I'm pulling it so hard. That's it.
Hey.
Sorry, you'll get the blame. Oh, yeah, now dedicated fans will say they'll all go away and he was doing such a good job. Tell that bloke changes wrong with everything. No, they take a bit of settling in, see, they're quite temperamental. Yes. Maybe if I stop pulling it'll be alright. Has anybody else got any information on that sort of thing? Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Hang on.
It's looped through.
It is, yes, yeah. It's a string, it's stretching. Oh, that sounds better though. Yeah, now we're there now, look. It suggests to me. I could be doing this for days. Yeah, as I'm turning that knob, there's nobody over here getting closer to me. It might be accidentally, it might be somebody's garrote, we didn't know about it. If you see somebody choking on the floor of the stairs, give us a shout. That's it, I think we're there, I think we've got it. Because somebody said it couldn't be done, you know. Right, what song was I going to sing before the accident? Potash song. When you're digging out the ash, this is your chorus. When you're digging out the ash, you're raking in the cash. You might think you're doing very well. But when you're underneath the sea, where no man ought to be, it's like knocking on the deepest door of hell. Alright? Right, go on then. Sing it dead loud as well. Especially Any notes that you recognise as a B? When you're digging out the ash, you're raking in the cash. You might think you're doing very well, well, well. When you're underneath the sea where no man ought to be, like knocking on the deepest door of hell. Well, there's a place round here that all the men do fear. It's deep and dark and hot and dusty too. Now when you're on the door, the signs you sell your soul just to earn a decent power too. When you're digging out the ash, you're raking in the cash. You might think you're doing very well, well, well. When you're underneath the sea where no man ought to be, like knocking on the deepest door of hell. With work so hard to find, there's no place but the mine. The wages that they pay are very good. Your missus wants a car, a microwave, a breakfast bar. You take the chance of paying with your blood. When you're digging out the ash, you're raking in the cash. You might think you're doing very well, well, well. When you're underneath the sea where no man ought to be, like knocking on the deepest door of hell. For safety men agree, it's as safe as it can be. Be careful when you ride the big machines. Just think about your pain and live from day to day. Hope the dead don't come and haunt your dreams. Cause when you're digging out the ash, you're raking in the cash. You might think you're doing very well, well, well. When you're underneath the sea where no man ought to be, like knocking on the deepest door of hell. From Staines and Loftus Town, all the places round, from Skelton, Nagan down to Whitby too. If you think you're tough and don't mind working rough, come down, it might be just the place for you. Cause when you're digging out the ash, you're raking in the cash. You might think you're doing very well, well, well. When you're underneath the sea where no man ought to be, like knocking on the deepest door of hell. Well, there's a place round here that all the men do fear. It's deep and dark and hot and dusty too. When you're on the door, there's times you sell your soul just to earn a decent power too. Cause when you're digging out the ash, you're raking in the cash. You might think you're doing very well, well, well. When you're underneath the sea where no man ought to be, like knocking on the deepest door of hell. What was it?
Potash.
Potash song. Potash song. See? What was that? All the very best. Yeah, I've had another request here. Well, not here, Weymouth. Well, they asked me to sing it in Bristol. This is it. With the song called Nawa's Song, and it was this was written before the Gulf War, with the recent bombings in the Gulf there in Iraq. This was written after Saddam Hussein bombed the Kurds. When the United Nations and the West weren't that interested in the Kurds. It was only after he sort of invaded Kuwait that we told him he was a baddie, despite the fact that all the blooming armaments he used to kill the Kurds, and we sent him cheap because he was killing Iranians at the time, and they were the baddies. So the poor old Kurds suffered, and then when our oil was threatened, of course, we said, oh, the poor Kurds. There was a picture in the paper of this young Kurdish refugee girl called Nawa, and she was in a refugee camp in Turkey. She'd escaped. Her family had been killed in Halabja with this mustard gas or whatever it was, and she went from the frying pan into the fire because the Kurds are not having a good time in Turkey. So I wrote this little song called Nawa song. There is news from afar of a sad and sordid war on the border of Turkey and Iraq. There is gas in the air, dying everywhere, and a trail mailing peasants gazing back. For time and again came the troops and the planes, and a cargo of poisonous load, as the children all ran from their homes in Kurdistan. Some were blinded, some died upon the road. Little Nawa was 8 when the slaughter reached its height, and her family and friends were cruelly slain. Like the Christ child in flight, she fled in dead of night. Should the flag from Iraq come back again? When asked what she saw, she sat down to draw, for her plight was too frightful for words. Not a dainty dark-eyed girl gave her drawing to the world like 1,000 words on the murder of the Kurds. For time and again came the troops and the planes, and a cargo of poisonous load, as the children all ran from their homes in Kurdistan. Some were blinded, some died upon the road. Well, the day it has passed, the news it faded fast, and concern over little Nawa's fate. But still there's no ease for those hapless refugees whose pleas for justice must be heard through barbed wire gates. For our United Nations prefer the smooth relations with a tyrant than a frightened dark-eyed child. Oh, can there be more to gain to befriend Saddam Hussein than defend the innocents he has defiled? For time and again came the troops and the planes, and a cargo of poisonous load, as the children all ran from their homes in Kurdistan. Some were blinded, some died upon the road. Yeah, that was Nawa's song. Couple of tunes on my whistle. Oh, I'm there. Is it hot in here?
Vin, get one of the fans to go on you.
Do you want me to tell them that? He said, get a fan to blow on me. Right? Hey, there isn't a dentist in the audience, is there? Huh? An extractor fan. I'm going bald, man. I'm going bald. You can't expect gems all of that. Bit of magic. Bit of magic for me, old Bristol. Has anybody heard of a footballer called Wilfie Mannion? Oh, right, oh. Middlesbrough fella, Wilf Mannion. He's in his 80s now, right? And a few years ago, it was reported in the Evening Gazette of Middlesbrough that Wilf Mannion had passed away. And he was a star in his day, you know. It was in Stanley Matthews' bracket. Anyway, all the working men's clubs on Teesside had a 3-minute silence for him. Anyway, he walks into the St. Peter's Club at South Bank, and everybody's sort of quiet for his thing, you know, and he stood at the back, so, you know, quiet, you know, obviously somebody died, so he was stood there as well, giving it. Anyway, then somebody spotted him and phoned the newspaper. Oh, so he's alive and well still, but that's a true story, though. But yeah, anyway, I wrote this tune called Wilf Mannion's Jig, and then he goes into a tune called The Wild Irishman, and then he goes into another tune that I've written in a different key, because I used to have this band, and there were always, when playing on a D whistle, there was plenty of sort of D tunes and G tunes, and they always needed A tunes to give it that lift, you know what I mean? So I wrote this A tune, which I'm going to play on a C whistle, which puts it into something else. Right? And I'll be honest with you, I can't play it. I wrote it, but I can't play it, so there might be two here. If I'm feeling brave, I'll go into the third, which is really peculiar. There you go. All right. Just get rid of the hair, see, nothing worse. Trying to whistle, get a hair in your mouth, it's horrible. That's why I keep them snares. that last one I'll play it through twice. Right. Didn't dare risk it there because there's all them half notes, you know. And if you miss a half note, you've missed the note. You get the next one. You know what I mean? You don't get the one below it, you get the one above it because you're halfway up there. You know what I mean? And the last thing I wanted was you to think it was in a minor key. Yeah, there you go. I'm gonna... God bless. Yeah, yeah, this is a good one. I've had a request for this. This is my... I won't tell a story about this. This is the song. This is the title track of my long-lost album, When the Tide Turns Again. The song is called When the Tide Turns. It was written in 1979, 1980, when I'd been reading a lot about world overpopulation and things like that. But at the same time, I was staying in the houses of lots of people who were telling me they'd looked to have a family but couldn't have kids. So I had this dilemma. I was reading one thing, but experienced this infertility problem on a grander scale than I was reading about. And then I was in North America at the same time, right? And I saw this stuffed pigeon, passenger pigeon. And the passenger pigeon was a pest. It was a pest in North America. There was countless millions of them last century. So the government put a bounty on their head, and it made it more difficult for them to fly with the chocolate. No, let me get back to Steve soon. Now the government put a bounty on their head, so nationwide they had this shoot, and they killed millions of passenger pigeons. And then when the numbers were reduced to just several hundred thousand, they stopped shooting them. But something happened to the species. They stopped breeding at that point. There was still several hundred thousand pigeons, and you would imagine there'd be one or two of them going around a bus station giving it the old. But it never happened, and they just, from that point on, they ceased to breed, and the last one died in a Chicago zoo in 1910. And I was moved by this sort of natural phenomenon. Yeah. And I came to the conclusion that no matter how technologically advanced we do get, we're still under the thumb of nature, and if we upset the balance, she won't ask us if we want it redressing, she will just redress it. So here we go, it's called When the Tide Turns. It mentions the black priest, which is symbolic of the poor countries giving the rich countries a little help along the way with another look at the simpler way of life. Here we go then. You can have a rest after this one, because you'll be gasping, are you, most of you? No? Come on over here. Here. When the Tide Turns. If you know this chorus, please join in. And if anybody wants to get on my mailing list, oh yeah, get on my mailing list. You know, I've just about eliminated the secret concert syndrome, but I still need a few more people. If you want to see me in the future, because you're not going to read about me, I'm a folk singer. See? You're not going to read or hear me on the radio, so to find out if I'm playing anywhere, you either have to be at the club last week or get on my mailing list. Right? Works great, because you can avoid me as well, have you got it? So I've got more people who don't like me on it than they actually... You know? Emails as well, we do emails. Oh, that saves me a fortune, emails. Get on this after this song. There we go. When the tide turns, the black priest will come. When the tide turns to England, my home. When the tide turns, a new rising sun like a bright flame will burn. When the tide turns. When Columbus set sail tide turns, and your rising sun like a bright flame will burn when the tide turns. Sophistication can kill nations quite as much as starvation. See it in the eyes, hear the cries of the West's depressed. For the weak we've no room, now the womb is a tomb. Tomorrow's world must die if the mighty say it's for best. Oh, there once was a time, oh, there once was a time when these people of mine coexisted, one with the fauna and fields, where Mother Nature gives breath to the soil with each death. Her simple symbiosis produces her yields. When the tide turns, the black breeze will come. When the tide turns, to England my home. When the tide turns, the new rising sun like a bright flame will burn when the tide turns. Human life, like the grass, in one season does pass. We fall and feed the soil as our seeds feed tomorrow. Every man, every beast, host and share the same feast, giving back the earth quite as much as we borrow. But as man's chart unfurled, his materialist world has turned away from nature's advice and God's wonder. And with our hands in earth's till, starving millions we kill, naively denying our part in the plunder. Put the brains of the the brains of the day, they shall not have their way. Tomorrow's world belongs to the weak and the needing. For the meek still give birth and inherit this earth, while we now used to greed, overfeed and cease breeding. When the tide turns, the black priest will come. When the tide turns, to England my home. When the tide turns, and your rising sun like a bright flame will burn. When the tide turns. See you in a bit.
Vin Garbutt, ladies and gentlemen. Well, here we are, half time. Half time is take your empty glasses back to the bar time, please. Half time is visit the VG Superstore at the back of the room time. Half time is make yourselves comfortable time, and most important of all, half time is raffle time. Yes, myself and another will be passing amongst you, trying to prize a quid from your hands for 15 chances of winning some wonderful prizes before the next lot of music starts. So, see you again soon. In the meantime, another big hand please for Vin. Checking out and dozed off in the interval, you know. And as usual, this week's last prize is the traditional, some would say institutional, in fact the people who came up with this idea should probably be in an institution, the traditional handcrafted Albert Hurl toilet roll, lovingly decorated by Vin Garbutt himself. It's yours if you have. Purple ticket, 290. 290. 290 on the lilac, the violet, the purple, the non-custard coloured ticket. Who's got 290? Fine, I'm coming that way.
Here we go, again.
So, the second half is about to start. You enjoyed the first half, didn't you? Oh yes, oh yes. So, put your hands together, make lots of noise, because he's got to get from there to here. So keep it coming for Vin Garbutt.
Thank you. Alright, I've clocked it. Who said that? I've clocked it, I've clocked it. Yeah. Christmas hits. Yeah, I've had a request for this. It's a song called Wings by Brian Bedford. Christmas hit off the Plugged album. And it's a lovely philosophical ditty, yeah, love song. I could have been a giant, said the bonsai tree. Someone bound my roots and held me down. I could have reached for heaven, said the snowy owl. But they clipped my wings and kept me on the ground. I think I heard them tell me that they loved me. They'd care for me, without them I would die. But what's the use of roots if you can't spread them? What's the use of wings if you can't fly? I could have been a singer, said the minor bird, but they caged me and they told me what to say. I could have run forever, said the pony, but they bridled me and made me go their way. I think I heard them tell me that they loved me, they'd care for me forever, so it seems. But what's the use of voices without freedom? What's the use of living others' dreams? Why do people cage the things they love the most? Is it simply that they fear to be alone? If you give me all of its freedom, it may stay a while. If it leaves you, it was never yours to own. Found adventures and the angel fish. Now my world's so small, there's nowhere left to go. I could have ruled a kingdom, said the lion. the land inside my head is all I know. I think I heard them tell me that they love me, they care for me and tell me it's alright. But what's the use of life without adventure? What's the use of strength if you can't fight? Why do people cage the things they love the most? Is it simply that they fear to be alone? If you give your love its freedom, it may stay a while. If it leaves you, it was never yours to own. I know I heard them tell me that they loved me, they care for me, without them I would die. What's the use of roots if you can't spread them? What's the use of wings if you can't fly? That was Brian Bedford's Wings, yeah. It's great that, isn't it, there? Eh? So all my best songs are somebody else's. And I don't know what it is, it's just that when I listen to my songs, I say to myself, oh, I wouldn't learn that, you know, unless there's nothing better to learn. I mean, and then occasionally, Brian Bedford comes along and oh. Anyway, I noticed during that song that somebody sneaked a packet of crisps in over in this corner. We've had this trouble here before, only about twice over the last 10 years or so, but those of you that are familiar with this problem will know that a crisp packet has got decibels. That if your ears are sort of, I hear very high-pitched things. My ears are tuned into high-pitched things. I can hear shrews arguing. And a crisp packet actually just drives me berserk. Not the crisps, and I'm not getting you over there, but not the crisps. It's in the northeast, in fact. I wrote to so many crisp manufacturers about this crisp packet noise that they actually make the packets out of wet ones. Yeah. Eliminates that problem. Yeah. And just by coincidence, have you got Wilkinson's stores around here? You know Wilkinson's? You don't know, it's a Midlands thing. It's moved up to the northeast now, but all these garden tools and plants and household what's it? It's a big show. Wilco it used to be known as Wilco. And I was in Wilkinson's this last week, and I noticed next to the wet ones they had a flat tub that said thick baby wipes. And I thought, what mother would own up to that? Must be a demand, people must ask for it. Hey, yeah. Hey, what's this? I've had a few requests and I've forgotten them all. Oh, yeah, this isn't a request. I'm going to do this because there was a mirror in the gents. This is for the younger generation. It's a song called "The Truth Is Irresistible." It's on this new album that I'm doing, and it's about the children of the '60s teenagers, right? My generation. I'll go after to tell you this. My generation. We were the first generation to learn nearly everything we knew from strangers. My mum and dad learned everything they knew from people they knew, and so did their parents, and go back as far as I like. But when I was a kid, the television arrived, the motor car arrived and took us away from people we knew. And I remember 1956, we had the first telly in our street, South Bank near Middlesbrough, first telly in the street. One or two families had them in their houses. But we had one in the street. And we learned so much from the telly that I started to think my parents were thick, because they just didn't know about what I was learning from the telly. And I can remember turning to my mother in 1956 and saying to my mum, "Is that right, Mum?" She said, "What, son?" I said, "Is an axolotl a Central American amphibious salamander?" Anyway, my mum said, I think the kettle's boiling, son, I won't wash. And I more or less, I just wrote them off at that point. And they're thick, mum and dad's thick. And it's for the next for years from then on, we were just inundated with all this information. And it took quite a lot of years for me to realise it. What was missing from the information was what used to be called wisdom, right? So my head was full of information and I didn't know what to do with it. You know what I mean? In fact, I'm still pretty clever. You can probably, I'll do a 12. I don't know if you can tell from a distance, but anyway, I decided to write this song, The Truth is Irresistible, because I decided that my generation got rid of everything that was old. Not because it was bad, but just because it was old. And we embraced everything that was new. Not because it was necessarily good, but just because it was new. And then our kids, of course, are out in this limbo, trying to work it all out without the tradition. Because if I make a mistake, I very often go, oh, I remember my mum saying that would happen if I did that, right? Because my mum offered me the tradition. But the next generation, we decided, no, we better not, let them decide for themselves. But the song is all about accumulated wisdom. It takes thousands of years to hand down and to scrap it. We scrap it at our peril, but we've done it. Anyway, it's a peculiar little song, this. In fact, it's very peculiar. In fact, there's a fair chance there's only me likes it. But this is dedicated to the children of the 60s teenagers who are having to cope in this limbo. Here's your chorus. The truth is irresistible. You can hide your eyes for a while, but it's a known goal. Argument may take its toll. But the truth in the words of the song, in the short term or the long, will conquer all. The truth is irresistible. You can hide your eyes for a while, but it's a known goal. Argument may take its toll. The truth in the words of the song, in the short term or the long, will conquer all. Oh, the rare possibility can seem a probability and dim your facility for reasoning. The exception seems the norm if you study it too long in the media that spice it all with seasoning. You can trust those who love you, but there are those above you who seem clever, but are really just like one of us. Though famous they may be, though you see them on TV, their integrity to you remains anonymous. But the truth is irresistible. You can hide your eyes for a while, but it's a known goal. Argument may take its toll. The truth in the words of the song, in the short term or the long, will conquer all. Tradition has to work, you know, to survive the ages, helping us restrain the arrogance of intellect. At our peril, we reject any law that did protect our forebears from the sages of the evil sect. Until the TV came along, we learned what was right from wrong, from parents and from those who loved and cared for us. In the 60s we did turn, their ways we learned to spurn, falling in the trap the strangers had prepared for us. But the truth is irresistible, and you can hide your eyes for a while, but it's a known goal. Argument may take its toll, but the truth in the words of the song, in the short term or the long, will conquer all. Our children, they look up to us for guidance, but we shrug our shoulders, tiny seedlings in the boulders fight to grow. For we are the stony ground where few nutrients are found, the nutrition of tradition severed long ago. But the future must be bright again. Our children have the right to claim their heritage we've hidden from them far too long. With the quest for what is true comes the best of old and new. They'll repair the signpost on the road where we went wrong. For the truth is irresistible, and you can hide your eyes for a while, but it's a known goal. Argument may take its toll, but the truth in the words of the song, in the short term or the long, will conquer all. The age of confusion is fast waning, and I smell a change upon the air. For the proof of the pudding's in the eating, and this cheating way of life has left a generation in despair. But the change it must come soon, I fear. The day of truth is looming near, destruction in the womb, the street, the atmosphere. Oh, the learning of one lifetime can't compare, nor is the strife like the accumulated wisdom of 10,000 years. And the truth is irresistible. You can hide your eyes for a while, but it's a known goal. Argument may take its toll. The truth in the words of the song, in the short or more long, will conquer all. The truth is irresistible. You can hide your eyes for a while, but it's a known goal. Argument may take its toll. The truth in the words of the song, in the short or more long, will conquer all. Very much. Because I haven't said that, I could be wrong. Come on. Yeah. Anyway, obviously the next couple of days I'll be seeing a lot more of my mentors. Actually, I usually stay up in Priddy. Hey, I'm playing a Priddy festival this year. Anybody know that? Oh, hell aye. And the last time I played a Priddy festival, when it just started, the landlord of the Fisherman's Arms, what's it called? The Hunters Lodge up near Priddy on Mendip there. He was doing the bar, right? And he told me if I could have free beer, if I could think of a song that could mention Butcombe Ales, right? And I did. And I sung, "But come ye back when summer's in the meadow." Free beer all night, piece of cake. Yeah, I'm going to do a Christmas hit off my next album, off my current, anyway, not out yet. And it's called The Troubles of Aaron. And this is the song I sung when I got booked to play at the Riverside, Middlesbrough Football Stadium, to 35,000 people. I thought to myself, oh, wouldn't it be great if I could sell 20,000 CDs on the way out? Anyway, this contract thing came through, and it says, experience tells us, because I've had a few of these, what they do is they're trying to take the arts to the masses. Right. So, anyway, and I go every Sunday, as it happens. But anyway, to cut long story short, I sung this. They said, we find that up-tempo or even funny songs go down best. So I thought, I'll reverse that advice, which is always the best thing to do with people who don't know what they're talking about. Right? And I sang this, The Troubles of Aaron, about Ireland's troubles. I got a bit of jip off the Liverpool supporter because I was up near them on the pitch. Right? But only for 2 verses, and then they sort of calmed down a bit. Me and my wife Pat and the kids went to Ireland in 1994 for a holiday. And while we got one of these cheap bucket shop type ferry tickets for the whole family in the car from a Holyhead to Stranraer. Now it was false economy because then we had to get to Ireland. foolish of me. But anyway, while we were over there, the first IRA ceasefire was announced, and the feeling was just fantastic. So I wrote this song called The Troubles of Aaron, and then just last year I wrote an extra verse after another atrocity. So with a bit of luck, the peace process will stay on course. May the troubles of Erin be over. May the bauble of peace be preserved. May the white dove inspire the children of Ireland. Peace is the least they deserve. Oh, remember when civil rights marches were battered with clubs to the ground, and the very first squaddy to lay down his body and part with his soul for the crown. May the troubles of Erin be over. May the bauble of peace be preserved. May the white dove inspire the children of Ireland. Peace is the least they deserve. And remember that cold bloody Sunday when troops opened fire on the crowd, and the people of Derry again had to bury their loved ones and pay for the shroud. And the tragedy of Enniskillen, the bomb broke the heart of the town, and that elderly man held out his hand to the killer who cut his girl down. May the troubles of Erin be over. May the bauble of peace be preserved. May the white dove inspire the children of Ireland. Peace is the least they deserve. And the boys in the bar room at points pass, good friends who could see no divide. A cold heinous crime soaked them in their prime. Their blood was as one where they died. Oh, the prisons are filled with their number. The angry, the anguished, the shamed. But the wire must come down in each county and town for the ghosts of the past to be laid. So let's pray for the day of forgiveness, when the weeping and wailing will cease, and may love reconcile all of Erin's green isle. May the living and dead rest in peace. May the troubles of Erin be over. May the bauble of peace be preserved. May the white dove inspire the children of Ireland. Peace is the least they deserve. May the troubles of Erin be over. May the bauble of peace be preserved. the wind of inspire the children of Ireland. Peace is the least they deserve. Peace is the least they deserve. What was it? So it always gets a few out, that one. Trouble with the variant. Hey, keep chucking them requests in. I've got two.
Linda.
I've got three. And then, oh, I can't remember that. I'm going to relearn it though. I'll relearn that one. Just if I sing that, that's on. I've got all these songs, you see. I've got all these songs that are on that record company. Just pinched all the ads. I've got all my old LPs, you see. If I sing them, and I go out and somebody goes out and tries to buy the album, it might encourage them to reissue it and not give me any money. Now, is that fair? So, it's only fair, isn't it? All the very best. This is a traditional song here called The Green Mossy Banks of the Lee. I got this off my mother. My mother's family actually came from the west of Ireland, County Mayo. And I don't know if I told you last time I was here, but they settled in a place called South Bank, right near the steelworks. And I just say, just coincidentally, you might have read a year or so back, they discovered the remains of a German Luftwaffe plane at South Bank near Middlesbrough, right near the steelworks, right near where my dad had an allotment. And this Luftwaffe, they only found it 18 months ago, but I reckon my dad found it when I was a kid, because I can remember him coming in from his allotment and telling me he stood in the whole message she made. Anyway, to cut a long story short, this song, at any one time tonight, I do apologise to those who are wondering what the others are laughing at. It can be a problem. No, it can be a problem. Anyway, did I actually say what I was going to sing then? Oh yeah. This song, The Green Mossy Banks of the Lee, my grandmother used to sing this. Right? So I picked up the melody and a few words when I was a young man and found the rest of the words elsewhere. And it's about an American, a rich American, came over to England looking for a bride. And he met this young lass coming out of a swamp near Nailsea. You've got to remember that this was before Weston was drained. Right? And as she's coming out of the swamp, and he was really taken by the strength of character that it must have required for this young lass to go in the swamp alone. It was night time, well, dusk. She went in the swamp alone. I mean, this is 200 years ago, don't forget. I mean, if you saw a young lass coming out of a swamp alone nowadays, you wouldn't bat an eyelid. Well, back then, it was quite something. Anyway, he approached her.
Wisdom for you.
He approached her, and he says to her, "Will you marry me?" And she retorted, and he only knew that because of the bubbles. He says, will you marry me? Now it turned out that this lass was of Flemish. She was Flemish, and in fact, it was a genetic thing. Most of the family had a bad chest, right? And so it transpires that what he thought was frog spawn was. I won't go there. Anyway, to cut a long story short, he says, "Will you marry me?" Now she answered him in Flemish, right? And he says to her, he says, what are you doing? What are you doing in the swamp? And she says, ik verzamel kikkerskaatjes voor waterpassen. I'll say that again because it's pretty good actually. Have we got any Flemish speakers in the audience? Oh well, actually it was brilliant. Right? I said it again. He says, what are you doing in the swamp? And she said, ik verzamel kikkerskaatjes voor waterpassen. Which roughly translated means, I'm collecting frog farts for spirit levels. Anyway, hey, I can't tell you how long it took me to get that translation. And oddly enough, I've told that introduction in Holland. And everybody has laughed at the frog farts, the kikkerskaatjes, but nobody laughed at the spirit levels. I couldn't fathom why until I realised it's because nobody knew what one was. Everything's flat, they don't need them. They don't need them. It's true. You ask a Dutchman what a spirit level is, isn't it? Right, yeah. Right, they probably think it's the number of ghosts you've got in your house. Anyway, so he says to her, will you marry me? And she said, well, I would do, but you'll have to ask me father first. It's a local custom, you have to ask me father first. And I said, dagnabbit. She says, oh, don't despair. She says, look yonder. 'Tis my father skipping over yonder lea. And the American lad says, he says, would you run that by me again, pet? She says, yes. She says, look yonder. 'Tis my father skipping over yonder lea. Anyway, when her father arrived, she said, Dad, will you put that rope down? You look stupid. Anyway, to cut a long story short, the American approached the girl's father and popped the question, and he said, I'd love to, son, but I'm already married, Mum. So anyway, they came to some arrangement, but then there was another obstacle. She said, there's only one thing. She says, my Uncle Colin. She says, my Uncle Colin is watching the proceedings here. She said, he's up on top of that hill. She said, he said what? She said, see that hill? She said, can you see that copse on top of that hill? An American fella says, he says, I don't want to pull you up on your grammar. He says, but shouldn't it be them cops? No, she said, the bushes. She said, the bushes on top of that hill. She said, my Uncle Colin is up there with his blunderbuss, and one false move from you, and he'll come down and run you over. Anyway, he says, well, what can I do to sort of